What's going on, everybody? It's Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA and ProWrestlingAuthority.com. I have once again another lion fight fighter with me today, Roger the Ttan Corbin. I have with me right up there in the screen up there. How are you doing today, Roger?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I was able to watch your fight ringside last week. You had an amazing fight. You put on quite the show.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, a lot of work went into it, and been training for quite a long time. Listen to my coaches, and everything worked out all right.
So let me get you introduced to everybody. I'm Evil Eddie from ProWrestlingAuthority.com. Of course, I was ringside watching your fight. Can you introduce yourself to everybody? Let them know who you are, where you're from.
No problem. I'm Roger the Titan Corbin. I am fighting out of Bowie, Maryland, from Level Up Boxing Gym, and I'm hoping to put on more shows for you guys soon.
And can you explain the background to everybody, like what the Titan and what do you do? You're on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I am on Twitch. Pretty much how my day goes is I'm military. I'm in the Navy. I
Oh,
go.
thank you very much for your service. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. No, thank you. It's an honor to serve my country and all of that. But yeah, so I start off, go to work. After work, I come home for like an hour, maybe stream some, quick videos of me playing something. Then I'm off to the gym for about 4 to 5 hours, and I come back and do the same thing. So I'm very busy throughout most of my week.
And you guys can find Roger at twitch.tv/the Titan18. What kind of games do you play?
I play a lot. My main, I guess, flagship game is a XCOM 2. I like coming in there. People in my chat come in. I create soldiers and stuff for them, and we go and blast aliens apart. So, but I'm a variety streamer. So any new game or popular game that comes out, any games, especially on Fridays, I let chat request any game for me to play, and we hop on that and have a good time.
That's awesome. So when did you start fighting? What made you decide that you wanted to become a fighter?
So yeah, as a little kid, you grow up watching Power Rangers and all that other cool stuff, and martial arts is like always that thing that they say, it keeps you focused. And I was a very hyper, we'll call it maybe like angry, emotional kid, and I needed to channel all that somewhere. So I started my exploration into the martial arts at 5 with basic karate, and I hit up maybe 7 other different styles growing up, and then I got here to Maryland, and I found Jason Farrell, who's the my striking coach and the owner of Level Up Boxing and Fitness, and yeah, we kind of hit it off, and Muay Thai and kickboxing became my thing.
So I saw your fight at Lion Fights. How did that come about? What exactly was this your first fight for them or?
Yes, it was my first fight. It was actually my amateur debut there. Yeah, it was a very, very big promotion to be my first fight, and I was, proud that I went out there and did everything I was supposed to do.
So what can everybody expect from you in the next year?
The next year, if you guys don't know, I'm fighting on Glory this Friday, July 22nd. It's actually going to be on UFC Fight Pass, so if you haven't yet, go and check that out, or it's still time to get tickets and show up to the fight. Yeah, I'll be fighting for the military championship belt there.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Congratulations,
so
that's
my
awesome.
thank you. So for my second amateur fight, it's fun because I don't know too many people that did Lion Fight and Glory within the same month. So it's
Yeah.
a very big opportunity for me. And you can probably catch me just continuing to build up my amateur record, and maybe in a year or two, if there's no one left for me to fight at this level, I'll move on to the next one.
Well, just to let everybody know, Roger just had a fight at Foxwoods last weekend, and his fight ended in 24 seconds. That was an amazing fight. I was ringside watching that, and he has a fight coming up this week. Were you able to watch the fights last night on Bellator?
I actually no, I was busy yesterday as well.
There was a whole problem because they had the event at the O2 Arena, and then they
Hmm.
aired it an hour after. So then they aired it 3 hours later in America. So everyone already knew who won the fights.
Yeah,
It kind
yeah.
of threw everyone off. It was like, why does Bellator keep doing that? So you're gonna be on UFC Fight Pass?
Yes.
How exciting is that?
Very, very, very. Exposure, like it's a lot. It's a lot, and I have all of my Twitch followers, they're holding like watch parties to check me out.
Really, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, anybody that can't go to the fight, they're and it's also like again, it's a military setup. It's fighting somebody from the Air Force. So, I gotta represent myself, my gym, all of my coaches, and my branch of military service. So
You're
it's
also on
it's a
Twitter,
lot.
correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah, yeah.
What?
You can find me at let's see, the Titan 18, the Titan 21 on Twitter. But yeah, I post up. I normally post up when my fights are going out and when I'm streaming on that.
So what was a day in the life of a fighter? The day you have a fight, can you bring everybody who is kind of curious about becoming a fighter or have always wondered what that was like? The day you wake up for the event, what's that day like? Can you bring us through that?
Yeah. So normally, weigh-ins is kind of like the hardest part of going into the ring. All your work you do is already done the day of the fight. So your concern is sometimes if you did enough, and if you train hard, you listen to your coaches, you diet right, you made weight, all that part is good. The only thing left to do is get in there and just bang. And that's exactly where your mind should be at. Where I'm at normally, it's about that first interaction. You kind of go through like a million different ways the first few seconds of a fight can go. All right, so like, what if he, runs at you and decides to leave with like a flying knee? Are you just gonna sit there dumbfounded and eat it, or you sidestep? It's real simple things. You gotta tell yourself to react going into it. Like whatever happens, if you hit him, you practice this combination the whole time, and he ends up blocking it. Don't let it bug you. Just know that his defense created another opportunity for you to hit him back, and you just keep going. You can't let stuff surprise you. You got to keep your poker face on the whole time. You just got to keep going.
What were some of your inspirations growing up? Like, was it Hoist Gracie or was it WWF? What was it?
I respect like all styles of fighting, but like as far as people goes, Tyson was a monster, going up, and he was a very intimidating figure, and I was just like, yeah, I want to have an aura like that,
I remember
going
when
to
I
a
was a
ring.
kid, I remember that fight because my father was always into boxing. I remember
Mhm.
being a little kid watching that pay-per-view event where he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I really will never forget that, how weird that was. And, just the impact he's made on the boxing world, which brings me into my next question. I've been asking everybody this. Now it's 2016, and a couple years ago, we never thought we would see it, but now some of the women are headlining some of the biggest events that are around. And Lion Fights is having an upcoming event September 2nd. Jorina Bars will be going up against Angela Whitley. What's
Yeah.
your thought on the women fights and how far the sport has come in the past couple of years?
It's very impressive because even going back before where Dana was like, there I will never have females like on my show, and that now they're the center focus of most things because my opinion, the female fights are like extremely technical. Like they're more exciting to watch than most of the guy fighters because it's sometimes it comes just about power. But they train hard, they train the technique hard, and you see some really skilled fights coming from them. So I'm always excited to watch them.
So were you able to watch UFC 200 or?
UFC 200, I caught bits and pieces of it. A bunch of people went out. Yeah, this Mark Hunt's my dude.
So what do you think? What do you think about that going on? Do you think that's fair? That Mark Hunt, should he get some of that money or what do you think?
Without like, I don't really understand too much of the politics of it, but if anything needs to be fixed, it's the process of everything going up to a fight. If he popped positive on a drug test, there shouldn't have been a fight between those two fighters. So they should probably get their timelines in order there to make sure that stuff doesn't happen again. But I mean, and in my case, I feel like if I'm getting to the ring, I should be able to beat anyone. Steroid, whatever, all of that. It's. I know it helps out in their training process, but people, it's overcomable.
How was your recent fight camp coming into this fight? And I know you have a fight coming up. How was that?
So this one is honestly it's been a bit awkward because I did Lion Fight I think exactly like 2 weeks ago, and then I got the offer for this fight a few days after that. So I didn't have it planned at the beginning of this month that I was going to fight twice. So after a fight, you kind of get into like lax mode just a tad bit. I normally don't take like breaks, like a week-long break. I'll take like a day or something. But I was right back in it, and it's going smoothly. Working on the new game plan and stuff for my next opponent. What we're gonna do when we get in the ring. I'm on weight. I'm right at where I need to be. Everything's going well.
What was your first live event that you ever gone to when you went to go see like a combat sports? Do you remember what your first event was that you went to go see?
I actually the first event that I physically went to go see was from Luther Lights Out Smith. He's the professional boxer in my gym. Uh, it was I think down in Virginia. I was super close to the ring, so like it was kind of I was getting hit with sweat from the punches going and flying. But he went out there, he knocked his dude out in his boxing debut, knocked his guy out in the
Wow.
first round as well. So yeah, they call him Lights Out for a reason.
What was your childhood like? I mean, you're obviously you like video games, so do I. I think video games played a huge role in our generation.
Yeah.
So, you know, one question. You can answer this in two parts, whether or not. How big of a role does social media play when you're a fighter in the entertainment aspect? Interacting with your fans. Of course, you have Twitch. How big of a role does that play into being a fighter?
It's a direct line for everyone to come and talk to you or voice their opinions, concerns, thoughts, like any of that there. And like it has good and bad things about it. The good things, you get to connect with your friends, you get to see them, you start recognizing like regulars, like people that even like in the Twitch stuff, people that constantly show up in the screen, like I feel like I know them, like they're my friends.
Yeah.
And then of course with everything you have trolls, and they show up and
Oh man, I have them too, dude. Don't worry. I think we all anyone that has the courage to just put themselves out there on the internet for everyone to see. Of course, there's people out there that
yeah,
are gonna say stuff. And I remember like the first time someone kind of like hurt my feelings in a way, and I even talked to my mom about it because it like bothered me that much. But it's
yeah,
like you gotta expect it. You gotta know it's out there. And a lot of people were talking with Ronda Rousey how hard she was taking that fight. She one thing led to another. She started expressing her emotions. But then again, that was her first loss in the UFC. She was a
yeah.
huge star. You gotta think like how would I deal with that in that kind of position. But
it
with social media, you gotta kind of expect it.
yeah Now
But
Rousey, that was a tough lesson to learn at that point in your career.
I think more good than bad comes out of putting yourself out there on social media, and I think what you're doing on Twitch and like Demetrius Johnson as well. Speaking about them, have you ever watched them their Twitches or?
I've caught Rampage,
Yeah,
around
he's
and
funny.
messing around with stuff. Yeah.
There was one
I haven't watched
episode.
Demetrius Johnson yet though.
There was one episode with Demetrius or one viewing where he was in the middle of playing a video game and all of a sudden USADA came knocking on the door and he literally broadcasted the whole thing up until they came into the house and everything. But it was just
Yeah.
kind of funny to see how they literally just pop up out of
Oh
nowhere
man.
to test you.
Yeah.
So right now in the UFC or Bellator or anywhere, what's one of your most influential fighters that are currently still fighting?
Uh, I probably Gokhan Saki. Because again, like if my had took my early inspirations of like my technique and stuff from like Tyson, Gokhan has already applied that style to kickboxing and Muay Thai, and he's very interesting to watch. And I don't think he's fighting anymore, but Ernesto Hughes was another inspiration of mine with his devastating leg kicks and all that other stuff. But I know I definitely keep my eye on Gokhan.
Have you ever met like one of your favorite fighters and been like starstruck when you were younger or anything?
Besides Rampage, no, I
Oh,
have.
you did? You met Rampage?
Yeah, I met Rampage at PAX South, and actually this year in PAX South, and it was funny to see him there. But I love Rampage growing up because when I started off in martial, I did wrestling at a time, and just to see him pick people up and like slam them on the head and knock them out was always amazing to see.
So were you a fan of the Ultimate Fighter? He was on that season with Rashad. That was a
Oh,
season that always gets brought up time and time again.
yeah.
Did you watch that?
I did. I did. The show is funny to me. Like I know it's like a great opportunity for fighters, but a lot of the time it's just entertaining to put a whole bunch of fighters in the same house
Yeah,
and
all cutting weight and yep, all
yeah, just
irritable.
and like they know they're gonna have to fight each other at some point in it, so it's just it's a recipe for disaster, and I love it.
And that's a great thing to bring up because another question I had this season of Ultimate Fighter, of course, it was Joanna versus Claudia, and in the house, it seemed like a lot of the fighters are already friends from before they were on the show. Have you ever been in a position where you had to fight somebody or anything like that, where you felt some type of way about them, where it was kind of weird to engage?
Oh yeah. In our gym, there's certain days where we pick up. Well, it's not even like fighting, but we pick up our sparring, and again with like the other guys that I kind of see as like my big brothers and all this stuff in there. Like I go in there and I'm like, I don't really want to hit you,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but normally they correct my attitude pretty quickly, so I get over it.
Were you any ever in any fights growing up? I mean, I know I grew up in the city, so fighting was a big part of growing up. Watching, in the part about MMA, that's really cool. Whether you like the
Hmm.
ground game or not, if you don't, this is why you should. Because what are you going to do in the situation when you find yourself on your back? How are you going to get out of that position? It's always interesting to watch. But with Muay Thai, they don't have the ground game. Have
No.
you ever been in a fight when you were a kid growing up, and how important it was learning about fighting? A two-part question. I know I keep
Um,
throwing those out there.
no, it's fine. No, I was an active I don't know, ruffian when I was a kid. Actually, on my I have a YouTube channel called the Titan Fights, and I started it like a long time ago, and it was filmed on like crappy prepaid phones where me and my friends used to go to my garage after school and kind of just throw down against each other and all that other stuff. But originally, MMA was what I was looking to do, and you guys can't see me, I'm sitting down, but I'm a short individual, so the ground game was always my home.
Well, I have pictures of you streaming throughout the interview, so they can kind of see
Oh,
it.
okay. There we go. Yeah. So, and the ground game was where I felt at home with. Jiu-jitsu was what I studied for a really, really long time. Wrestling, I was good at that. Anytime I got into a fight, the ground is where I wanted to take it because I feel you have more control over your opponent down there. So it's like I didn't like, the fact that standing up you can get kicked, punched, knee, elbowed, head-butted, all that other stuff. So on the ground, I'm like, okay, if I sit on his, I'll put my knee across his waistline, his entire lower half I don't have to deal with anymore. So and just to jump you ahead of your question here. So the reason why I do stand up striking now
Yep.
is my ground game was strong, but my stand up was a lot weaker. And Jason helped me out with that. And when it comes down to it, it's like I kind of prefer standing up because in real world application, I can't jujitsu five guys if they're trying to jump me. I'm sure someone out there can, but it's not that style meant to take down like, six, seven other people. But if you can knock them all out, then go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So my last question for you, um, you know, what was it like the day that you went to go fight at Foxwoods after you won? What was your day like after that, knowing that you had that win under your belt? You just had a fight at the casino. You 24 seconds and it was over. What was that like?
It was a great feeling, really. I would say like another part of the fight was I was the first fight of that night.
Yeah,
So
and you started off with a bang, man. You got me at the edge of my seat.
it was a goal, but like I don't like waiting. Like when you're in there and it's about to get and you're waiting for them to call you out. So being the first fight was exciting. Afterwards, I was just like, okay, I'm ready to eat. And I had another I had another one of my teammates fight that night as well. You might remember Gary Mack. He was the fifth fight on the last fight of the undercard.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately that fight didn't go the way we wanted it to, but he went out and everything was fine. He was okay, and we went out and celebrated.
Was this your first time at Foxwoods?
It
It
was
was. Wow.
exciting to be there. Yeah, it's what biggest casino in America or
It's huge, man. I was telling everybody this. When you get there, they're like, "All right, Oh, you're looking for that restaurant? All right, go a quarter mile that way, a half mile that way. It's
Yeah.
huge. There's
Go
so
up
much
the
for everyone to
stairs,
do.
turn around, go
Yep.
down. Yeah.
And it's so easy to get lost too because you can just keep walking in circles and wouldn't even know it.
Hmm.
So where can everybody find you on Twitter one more time now that
You can find me at the Titan21 on Twitter. You can catch me playing video games on twitch.tv/the Titan18. And if you're interested in going to see a bunch of knucklehead kids punch each other in the face, you guys can go to the Titan Fights on YouTube.
and this is the part of the show where I really give you the stage to give any shout outs that you have, your gym, anyone that you want to give thanks to, and promote anything that you would like. I know that you have the fights coming up this weekend, and good luck, man. I'm so happy that you came on the show. It was an honor.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm gonna start off with my family, my mom, my dad, my wife, and my daughter. They're always supporting me in whatever I just pick to do, no matter how stubborn I am. So thank them for just sticking behind me through all that. I'd like to thank my striking coach and best friend Jason Farrell, coaching and owner of Level Up Boxing and Fitness. I'd like to thank my strength and conditioning coach Leona Brown from Conversion Fitness for making sure that every time I get into the ring, I'm more prepared than I ever will be doing one of her sessions. She kills me sometimes. And my nutritionist and weight cut coach, Darnell Murphy from Strong Soul Fitness. And pretty much all my teammates and, the squad from Level Up. Also, the AJSA, the Angry Joe Show stream team, which is what my group associated on Twitch. So make sure you go and check those guys out as well.
I'm definitely going to go check that out after the show. Everyone, Lion Fights 31 is going to be at Foxwoods, live on Access TV at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Commentary by The Voices, Michael Chavallo, and UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich is going to be commentary. It's going to be a great fight. Tickets are on sale right now. You can go to foxwoods.com or you can get them by calling 1-800-200-2882. It's a great event. You put on a great show. You started that off with a bang. I was talking with Scott about, maybe streaming the prelim fights for Lion Fights, in the future on their website because, every single fight was out of control. And I think everyone should at least be able to watch it somehow if you can't get to Foxwoods. So
Yeah.
make sure you guys check out Lion Fights. It's going to be on Access TV. Make sure you guys check out Roger's Twitch. Follow him on Twitter. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Good luck this weekend at your fight.
Thank you.
What time are you going to be fighting? Do you know?
I believe the fights are going to start on UFC Fight Pass at 7. So keep
Eastern time,
a lookout
correct?
for that.
7
Yes.
Eastern time? Because, I've gotten yelled at so many times for giving just the Eastern time and getting them all confused. It's like, I forget that MMA, especially
It's a tough job, man. I
worldwide.
understand.
All right, man. Have a great day, and thank you for coming on Pure Evil MMA.
You too, man.
So that was Roger Corbin, everybody, from Lion Fights. Make sure you check him out. Lion Fights, like I said, is going to be at Foxwoods. It's going to be a blast. I was able to go there. Make sure you check out all the other interviews below. I had a great time talking with everybody. Everyone over there is amazing. I will also be ringside there, so if you're there, make sure you come up and say hi to me and Angie Jabs. Follow us on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Subscribe to Pure Evil MMA TV right here on YouTube. And follow all the latest MMA news on ProWrestlingAuthority.com. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA and ProWrestlingAuthority.com. I'm out, guys. Behave yourselves.